Imagine walking down a quiet London street at night, the kind where the fog hangs low, streetlights flicker, and every shadow feels like it's watching you. Now imagine that somewhere on that same street, someone vanished. Not years ago, not decades ago, but in a way so strange, so unsettling, that even today, no one can explain what really happened. This isn't just another mystery. This is one of those cases that sticks with you, the kind that makes you double-check your locks at night. And if you're into stories that stay in your head long after they end, you're in the right place. Before we go deeper, make sure you hit like and subscribe to The Dark Brief, because stories like this don't come around often, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. It all begins in London, a city full of history, secrets, and stories buried beneath centuries of life. Among millions of people, one person's disappearance should have been just another case. But this one was different from the very start. The woman at the center of this mystery was known to her friends as quiet, intelligent, and careful. She wasn't the kind of person who took risks or disappeared without telling anyone. Her routine was predictable. Work, home, occasional outings, nothing unusual, which is exactly why when she vanished, it immediately raised alarms. The night she disappeared seemed normal, no signs of distress, no strange messages, no sudden changes in behavior. She left her home like any other day. And then, nothing. At first, people assumed she might have gone somewhere unexpectedly. Maybe she needed space, maybe she was dealing with something privately. But as hours turned into days, and days turned into weeks, the silence became impossible to ignore. Police got involved. Investigations began. And what they found, or rather, what they didn't find, made the case even more disturbing. There were no signs of struggle, no witnesses who saw anything unusual, no CCTV footage that clearly explained where she went. In a city like London, where cameras are everywhere, this alone was unsettling. But then came the details that made this case truly strange. Her phone was found, but not where you'd expect. It wasn't in her home. It wasn't even along her usual route. It appeared in a location that didn't make sense, somewhere she had no reason to be. Even more disturbing, there were no fingerprints on it, not even hers. Think about that for a second. A person's phone, completely wiped clean of any trace of who last touched it. Investigators were confused. Was this deliberate? Was someone trying to erase evidence? Or was there something else going on? As they dug deeper, more odd details began to surface. Friends reported that in the days leading up to her disappearance, she seemed distracted, not scared, not paranoid, just distant, like her mind was somewhere else. One friend mentioned a conversation that didn't seem important at the time, but later became chilling. She had said, "Sometimes I feel like someone is watching me, but when I turn around, there's no one there." At first, it sounded like stress, maybe anxiety, but after she vanished, those words took on a completely different meaning. The investigation widened. Police started looking into her digital life, emails, messages, browsing history, and that's when they found something even stranger. There were searches, late at night, repeated over several days, searches about missing persons cases, about people who disappeared without a trace, about locations in London known for strange incidents. Why would she be searching for that? Was she just curious, or was she trying to understand something happening to her? And then came the most disturbing discovery of all. A single CCTV clip. It wasn't clear footage, grainy, distant, the kind that raises more questions than answers. But in it, a figure believed to be her can be seen walking down a street, alone, late at night. At first glance, nothing unusual, but if you watch closely, something feels off. Her movement wasn't natural. It was slow, almost mechanical, like she wasn't fully aware of where she was going. And then she stops. Not because someone approached her, not because something blocked her path. She just stops. Stands there, completely still for almost a full minute. And then she turns, not quickly, not like someone reacting to a sound, slowly, deliberately, as if she's looking at something, or someone just out of frame. And then she walks away, out of the camera's view, and that was the last confirmed sighting of her. No one saw where she went after that. No footage captured her beyond that point. It's as if she stepped out of reality itself. Police tried to trace her movements. They mapped every possible route. They checked nearby cameras, questioned residents, searched buildings. Nothing. No trace, no clues, no answers. The case began to attract attention. People couldn't understand how someone could disappear so completely in one of the busiest cities in the world. Theories started to spread. Some believed it was a carefully planned crime, that someone had been watching her, studying her routine, waiting for the perfect moment. Others thought it might be something more psychological, that she had chosen to disappear, to leave everything behind. But those who looked closely at the details saw something else, something darker, something that didn't quite fit into normal explanations, because there were patterns, other cases, people who had disappeared in similar ways, not exactly the same, but close enough to raise questions, late-night activity, strange behavior before vanishing, final sightings that didn't make sense. It was almost as if there was something connecting them, something no one could see, something no one could prove. As time passed, the case grew colder, leads dried up, witnesses stopped coming forward, the story faded from headlines. But for those who followed it closely, it never really ended, because every now and then something new would surface, a reported sighting, a tip, a detail that didn't quite match the official timeline, and each time hope would rise, only to fall again. Years later, the mystery remains unsolved. No confirmed answers, no closure, just questions, and one haunting possibility. What if she didn't just disappear? What if something or someone made her disappear? Think about that CCTV footage again, the way she stopped, the way she turned. What did she see? Who or what was standing there just outside the frame? And why has no one ever come forward to explain it? This is the part where most stories would give you a conclusion, a suspect, a resolution. But this case doesn't have one. And maybe that's what makes it so disturbing, because somewhere out there, the truth exists, hidden, unseen, waiting. And maybe, just maybe, someone knows exactly what happened that night. If you've made it this far, I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think happened? Was it a crime, a coincidence, or something far more unsettling? Drop your theory in the comments and don't hold back. Sometimes the craziest ideas get us closer to the truth. And if this story gave you chills, share it with someone who loves mysteries as much as you do. Because the more people who see it, the closer we might get to understanding what really happened. This is the Dark Brief, and some stories never truly end.